What I like to do is start off with a cheap servo. These are 250 ounce JX 6221 MG. What I do is start with taking the case apart. That you can pull the back right off, set it off to the side. What you can do is separate the front case. Just keep sliding. Till the back case comes off. Sometimes this thing will get shoved up in there. Once that's the part, what I like to do is set it up against it. As you see where the motor is right here, we're going to end up taking out all this here. So what I'll do is put this across here, get a marker, and mark just to where the back of that motor is. Get you a straight edge. Square it up, mark it down. Get to the other side. Another way you can see it is right here where these little teeth are. Your motor is going to end up sticking out just a little bit more than this. Just a little bit more. So that's why I like to go just on the outside of that. We're going to be cutting all this off. So this is gone, and this is gone. I'll get back with you here in a second after I get that all cut. Alright, now that we got it cut, we set it off to the side. We're going to start working on getting the stopper off. If you usually wiggle it back and forth, it'll come off. So this is the little guide that stops it from running 360 complete in a circle. What you want to do is either, some servos you can pull them out, some of them you can press them out. I just usually cut them off just to make it a lot easier, so I'm going to do that real quick. All I'm using is a cheap Harbor Freight Dremel with a little cutter bit on it. So all you gotta do is just make sure you follow that thing down nice and flat so that your gears don't grab it. There we go, she's down. Alright, now that we got that all filed down, the next step's gonna be to take the electronics apart. What you want to do is bend this slightly out of the way. Screwdriver down in here. That out of the way, you're not going to need that no more. And then you're going to apply pressure right here to pop this thing off. Alright, now she's out of the way. So that we can actually get these 45mm long screws that actually screw into it from the back side. As of right now, there's actually a piece of metal in there blocking it so that you can't do that. So I'm going to go get my drill real quick and we'll get it knocked out. Alright, now that we've got it drilled out and the 360 stopper cut off, take one of your screws, thread it in backwards, just make sure she goes all the way through, which is good on this one. Take it back off. Just remember, you're not going to be reusing where your servo horn goes, so you can mar that up all you want. Usually, if this hole's not lined up 100%, you can take a pair of vice grips, pinch on here, put this in, run it through, and pull it back out. Or you can try it from the back, but the only problem with going from the back is there's no threads there, so it's going to be a lot harder. So I always say just go through from this side. But now we can start putting her back together. So we'll start with that here. Here. Make sure it's seated all the way also. And just kind of wiggle it back and forth until you catch a tooth. And we'll slide it on in. Alright. Next step you're going to do is get your front plate, stick it back on. Like so. I'm going to set that off to the side. So the back plate has a side that's already trimmed out for the motor. So what you're going to want to do is as you can see, the electronics used to come out the other side. We're going to want them to come out this back side. So you're going to want to file that out just a little bit, just so that you can get the wires to come out. Now that we got that trimmed out, we can stick it back together. I like to put one crank on these wires just to make them a little bit easier to install. We're going to pop her together. Have this upside down. There's a little channel where it pops down in, so you'll know if you got it backwards or not, just like I did. Get your wires lined up to come out the hole. And she should just pop right down into place. Sorry about that, memory card got full. So now that you got it all together, what you're going to want to do is make some braces from here to here. What I like to use is just some rod. This is a fiberglass rod from like a bone arrow, something like that. So what you want to do is slide it right up to that point. Give her a mark. Cut two of those, and I'll be right back. Alright, now that we got those two cut, go ahead and take her back apart. Just to make sure they fit. Alright, now that she's together, this is, I think, the hardest part, is getting this hole lined up with the back so that you can run your screw through. What I've learned with these JX servos is that you go just past the center of the seat right here. It's pretty much lined up on these. Some servos that I've taken apart, there's actually an indentation on the back exactly where that is, where you can drill through. So what we're going to do is just drill this out real quick with the same size as our screw so we can slide it on in. Give me a second. Alright, now we got it drilled out. So what you typically want to do is red Loctite on the end of this. Slide it down in. And tighten her on up. This is where I told you you can mar up the end. It's not exactly lined up perfectly. There we go. Got a servo winch. What'll happen is the thing will be spinning one way or the other. What you do is you clock this exactly to where you need it. She'll stop spinning. And what you do is drop some glue, or get some shoe goo, or even really anything that you want to use that can get real hard. Put it around it, and that'll stop it from moving. What I like to do is get shrink tube all this together, and then you don't have to worry about it again. Now, this being 2-wire servo, some of them actually have 3 wires in them. On these, what I really like to do is take this off and buy a cheap Chinese one, or you can get any type of a servo winch controller, solder it direct to it, take it off here, run it straight to your receiver, plug it on in, use your 3rd channel, or if you got your wireless controller, you can actually use your wireless controller and not even have to worry about it. But other things you can do before you actually screw it in, you can actually put some little marks in it, something to grab the rope a little bit better, and that'll actually help you tighten it up once you're pulling it to get it reeled in. But this is the cheapest way I found to do it without having to buy the spool piece for the center or that outer spool. So that's it. Hope it helps.